What is up, beautiful people of YouTube? Today we're going to do another premiere, and I think this is again a really fun way for me to communicate with you. Until today I still have some internet issues where it just drops randomly and I just can't live stream for the time being. It will cause too many issues and I don't want to live stream where all of a sudden I would disappear every 5 minutes. That's not really good. We're still trying to solve the issue, but I think it's going to be fine that we do it like this. Of course, like always, I will be there in the chat if you have any questions, if you have anything to look at, or any suggestions on what I should do, in the future. Put in the chat section, or if you are watching this video after the premiere, then basically put it in the comment section. I will be very curious to find out what you guys are thinking, and like always, talk among each other. It's about the community and about growing it as well. But for today's video, I want to have a look at two videos again, two making ofs. I asked you guys yesterday what you want me to look at and how long my video should be. A lot of you mentioned I should be around 30 minutes in these videos, maybe 1 hour. Let's see if we can find a compromise in the middle, if we can cover up two. Today we more or less have two short making of videos which should be in the 30-minute range. So before we start, why not just get ready and get yourself a drink. It's really warm. The heat wave in Europe is crazy, and you should be comfortable, when you are actually sitting and watching this video. Nonetheless, what I also want to say before I start with the video, for everyone who joined in so far, thank you very much for your support. Everyone who watched all my old videos, thank you very much for your support. My last video that I made had a lot of contradicting comments. A lot of people were unhappy that I used Taemin, for example. Yeah, I can understand your frustration, but in all honesty, guys, I'm not here comparing Taemin to another group. This is just how the world is. There were also comments on people who were confused on that videos like this exist in the world. Look, I'm sorry, I did not make that video. It wasn't my idea, but this originated out of Korea, and I thought it would be interesting to look at. And this is no offense on Taemin. This is just me trying to say, damn, you have these type of K-pop videos, but you also have these type of videos. It's very interesting to me. And also, I still think that video was very interesting. It was very educational, like many of you guys actually mentioned, and I thought that was fine. And that was also the point. And also, guys, if you haven't yet, please make sure to check out the Patreon. You'll be the first to know when I would upload something, what the topic would be, what is going to happen in any of my updates, and generally with the YouTube channel. And also, it's about being part of the community. People are talking among each other there as well a little bit over time. We're steadily growing, so it's also fun there, and it's also one of the best systems actually. Like, I first was doubting it, but Patreon is actually one of the better places to actually update your viewers. It's very direct, it's very simple. It's like Facebook, but very concentrated on your viewers. So very cool actually. So I would say let's not waste any more time and let's jump right into the first video. And I want to start off with NCT U and Work It. Like I already mentioned, I think NCT U and Work It, it's a very good video by itself. It's very bright, it's very colorful, and again, NCT U there was this feeling as if they're really enjoying it, and that's something that I really appreciate about these type of MVs. You should enjoy being part of a set, because if you don't, people will notice it really quickly. So I would just say let's start it and see what happens.
Yo, drop the bass.
I really like this MV making of video much more. Shows a lot about the cameraman, what he's doing, how much is handheld. I really like that. And also, if we're looking at the camera, again, I cannot say what gimbal it is. I think it's a Ronin S, a Ronin 2. A little bit of a monitor there. I can't see the camera. Again, we have a person in the background controlling, what's happening in case he wants to go step backwards. Very important that you always have someone like this when you have gimbal work. Yeah, you can also be cool enough to say, yeah, I don't need that person. It costs too much. But trust me, it costs much less if you drop all of this because you didn't see something. This guy is only there to guide him walking backwards, sideways, and nothing is in the way. Damn, what was that? Was that another gimbal? So I think this is an ARRI camera. I cannot see. And also, I'll be honest, with these cinema cameras, I'm not the best with knowing what model it is, but I think this is ARRI. I cannot see the name. Of course, if you know it in the chat, please guys, just put it there. I would be curious to know what it actually is. But that's what I like about this video. A lot of these places are live locations. you know, colors and places that you actually see, you know, places that are accessible. Some people already, not a lot of people, but some people already commented like, hey, how do you actually, you know, find locations? You know, just be a little bit creative. Look at the color palette you're trying to work with, trying to look with the idea that you want to go with. You know, here, I think it's a tennis pitch, if not mistaken, a soccer pitch, but it's a super nice color. I mean, it has a very nice type of green, a different shades of green. The blue is very fitting, the orange is very fitting, super cool.
뮤비 촬영 1일차. 다행히도 날씨는
I remember actually that I first thought when I started this YouTube channel that this was Taemin for some reason. And he had a very similar haircut, and I didn't know it was Jungwoo, but super cool. That it was a stupid mistake, but an interesting mistake. And I thought that Taemin was part of NCT U. Really weird mistake. So really, they're actually using the phone as a recording device. Super cool. I mentioned it in my video that you could see the difference between the phone quality and camera quality. Like the camera quality, the cinema camera quality. Damn, that's a tongue twister for myself. But super cool that they're just using a phone by itself. I think that's an iPhone X. Again, it shows that even with a simple phone, you can create some really cool footage, you know? Of course, here. Very nice, just like, I'll be honest, this is a very relaxing scene. I think he was alone in this set, you know, where it's taking place. I've not seen it before, but really nice. I love the colors that it shows here, you know, the pinks, the purples. It just fits the surroundings really well. And if you look at the sky as well, it's nothing too amazing, like in the sense of the weather isn't perfect, but when it's cloudy, you can actually get very good lighting. Because the sky or the clouds become basically a natural diffuser for the sun, which is fantastic. But it can also be super bright sometimes. So he wasn't alone. It was a long time since I reviewed the video, but really nice colors, very matching, very matching. I really love the color. Sorry, you know, for me this video was all about the colors. The color palette was just fantastic. It looked good. There's an insect on my pop filter. What? Nope. One sec, I want to look at that for a second again. That is why. Again, very simple. I'm not going to say it's a simple setup, but it is a setup by itself. I just like that most of the shots in this video are handheld. It really just shows how important the cameraman actually is. You know, if you have a very crappy cameraman and he doesn't see the angles, you're not going to have a very good video. And here, it's all about timing, you know, it's all about making sure that the shots are perfect. I'm curious if this video is going to get demonetized because I'm actually enjoying the video a lot and listening to the song a lot. Damn, that was a loud cut. What are they looking at? Photos? I think that these are, what do you call them? Polaroids? Polaroids. Damn, the wind. Again, beautiful color combinations. Fantastic, just. Like, look how good it just all matches, you know, orange with orange, white with white in the background. Very nice, beautiful, contrasting colors. They did a fantastic job here with it. And as you can see, most of these shots you can just literally get when you are out on location. You know, you don't always have to plan things in advance, but it's not always about thinking about, oh, what camera equipment do I need? What setup do I need? What lighting do I need? Sometimes just go to location and get something good, because here it's just filmed in natural lighting. You know, the sunlight is there And of course, the equipment you cannot compare unless you have the budget for it. But if you can get a simple setup, a simple gimbal, you can get very similar shots very simply. Just make sure you have the right, what was that, a light diffuser? Or a bounce card, sorry. So this is a bounce card, and it's very interesting that bounce cards can be really expensive. I don't even understand why, but for people who don't know what a bounce card is, it's nothing more than you're basically bouncing off light from the sun or a light source back to the person. You know, it's just to compromise. For example, if I light here, you want some extra light here, so you bounce the light that is coming here back to the face. Interesting tip, if you are looking for a bounce card, don't buy a real bounce card. Buy a piece of styrofoam like they have here. You can see this is styrofoam, and it's much cheaper. It costs you maybe a few cents to get a card like this, or a plate of styrofoam, very cheap material, and it will work as well. Yeah, you also have professional bounce cards, but it's not worth getting them because you need the effect. And then we saw there as well that it was actually an Ari. Do you guys see how this actually cuts? If you look at this video, okay, this is a small tip for you guys. Do you see how it's basically, when you look at the face, it basically cuts a little bit over time? Like, the shutter speed is a little bit too low on the shot, and I know this is B-roll, it's not important, but if you ever see this in your footage, it just means your shutter is a little bit too low. Put it a little bit higher, to get it a little bit more smoother. Because this can give me, for example, a headache if it was constantly like that. I think this was the end shot, no? So nice, so nice. When they filmed this, I thought they were shooting it through daytime, but since a week ago, I was actually working with a production company as well, or not me directly, but there was a scene that was very dark. They had to shoot it at dark time, more or less like this, but they made it look it was daytime. It was just amazing how they can color correct these things, because this is more or less nighttime, but it was done over daytime. I'm curious if they built the set just for him. Most likely they did. Look how, okay, it's not color corrected yet, but it looks already much better than what we see with the naked eye. Can we have a look there again? I want to have a little peek at the camera settings. So 4K, 5.6K, 90 frames per second again. It's interesting why it's not 90 frames. Shutter speed of 90. It's very interesting. Because I was told that you need to do the double. AKA if you're shooting at 24 frames per second, you should shoot like 50. If you're shooting at 60 frames per second, you should have your shutter at 120. Interesting. Why it's 90. Actually thinking about it now, it really could be that by creating it at 90 frames per, or 90 frames per second, but by creating it in a shutter of 90, it makes it extra smooth. So extra, I would say fake, if I like to call it. Because if you look at it from a 24 frames per second to a shutter speed of 50, it's much more cinematic. But if you increase it, again, I think they were shooting at 24 frames per second, if I'm not mistaken. If we see it again, we can look at it. But it creates it a little bit smoother. So when you do this, it becomes ultra smooth. Maybe that's because of the cultural. Everything just should look super, super good. And that might be it. I'm not sure, but I want to try this out. If I ever try a video project as well, I'm also going to go with a shutter of 90. Oh, I love this. Do we see anything here? Nope. Sorry guys, the music is going to disappear for a second. It's because it's so loud on my headphone. There we go. I think that's okay, no? Yeah.
계속 춤추니까 또 따라해줘요. 그래서 여러분도 우리 노래 들으면서 Work It 춤 같이 추자. I wanna see you dance, dance.
I'll be honest, that's the thing that I thought as well with this video, that it really just makes you want to move. It makes you want to do something. It's a very good gym song, if I can say it. Like, this should be the national song for gyms. Like, I think people would be very motivated. The one thing I do like about NCT, you know, is how much fun they're actually having. I mean, look at this. Oh, there we go. Shutter. Oh, now it's 180. So it's interesting. They always add 20 to the half, or, you know, let's say ballpark it. But they're shooting at 60 frames per second. Of course, maybe only this scene. I must say though, like I wanted to say, I really enjoy as well that they're just so happy in this production. Like, it really is nice.
머리에 반짝이 붙이고 막 LED도 붙이고 참 난리 났죠. 삐걱삐걱하죠. 약간 자유로 화려한 그런.
Really cool. Wait, can I just go back there a second? We have to look at the equipment, okay? You see, I love equipment, for the people who know. What kind of... It's a very interesting LED board that they're using here. It's a more of a long one. And it's a very nice compact one. Again, very interesting equipment. Very nice light source. Good. And it does a good enough job here, you know, on... Oh, this thing always made me feel a bit sick. No, but it did a very good job, basically, with creating enough light source for the subject. It's so interesting, you know, if you look at it here, it looks very silly with all the wires on it, but I remember in the video you don't really focus on the wires. I think they edit them out. It looks so much cleaner in post, but even this, it's so crazy though. I mean, these are just Christmas lights on a system that turns around. Of course, maybe that system we're standing on is custom built, but it's still very interesting. Like, who came up with this idea to create something that turns? Can we have a look again? Damn, so now it's 24 frames and a shutter of 180. It's really weird. Why are they going with these very quick shutter speeds? To make it extra smooth, or I'm not very sure. But for sure it's not very cinematic if it comes to the cinematic rule of thumb. That's really different. But I should just try it out once in the future, and maybe I can also figure it out for myself in the future, you know? What is the backdrop here? Is it a... It's a LED wall, okay. I couldn't see because it's not really focused on it, but it looks super cool. Yeah, look, now the shutter is 24, the frames per second is 24 and the shutter is 90. What's going on here? Can someone just explain it to me? And maybe this is also something, sometimes when I'm on set, I don't really follow these rules either, but it seems that they always follow the same numbers. Maybe I should also create like a set of, you know, a rule of thumb of what I should use in different scenarios. Maybe they want super smooth shots in some scenarios, and maybe they want okay smooth shots in other scenarios. Interesting to find out. Just cannot imagine it being so much fun, you know, having someone touch you all the time. You're there you want to watch the video, and then all of a sudden 10 people run over and touch you non-stop. Make sure that you look perfect. That's super cool, actually. Let me have a look at that again. Look at the equipment in the back. Let's have a look at the settings there. One sec. We should analyze this together, you know? Again, shutter of 90, 24 frames per second. Is there anything about... Again, 4K? Okay. But it looks cool, no? The effect looks cool. Yeah, the fancy outfits are real fancy. But this is the first time when someone actually talked about the outfits being so important. You know, an outfit should not just be worn because they should wear it, but it should also be very contrasting to the set itself. If it's not contrasting, it doesn't add a lot of effect. For example, here, if we look at the colors in the background, you know, we have like a curtain drop. But if you look at him, they're very different colors from the background. So he really stands out from the background, basically. That's also very important. I like that he actually talked about it. Interesting. First time I've heard someone talk about the fashion. I like this a lot. Here they're very complementing the colors, but they stand out still.
저희가 한껏 강렬하게 이미지 변신을 시도했답니다. 여기 보시면 또 태냥이 이렇게 꽃단장을 하고 있네요.
네.
오늘 컨셉이 뭐예요?
좀 옛날에 디스코 컨셉 하면서 촌스럽지
Wait, is that a pen to color his hair? Is that how they do it? I thought they actually dyed it, but this is so much cooler because this is not permanent.
않게
Nice.
머리와 이런 머리 색칠 하고 있습니다.
내가 봤을 때 형 우리 오늘
Very cool. I didn't even know you could do it like this.
뭐랄까
뭐 midnight 뭐 새벽 12시에 이런 로데오 길거리 가면서 좀 타니
Very cool.
그런 미남 분들
그런 룩이야?
그런 루킹. 이번에 춤췄어요?
지성아 근데 너 오늘 의상이 상당히 체스
춤췄어요?
옷 좀 사주세요.
그러니까 체스판이야? 체스 해도 돼?
진짜 나 옷이
오 봐봐 수민 지성 지금 몇 살?
19살.
오케이 보여주세요.
Very popping colors as well. I think this is the thing that made this video so good for me. It was really the color combinations. It's very child friendly. And then on top of that, the dance choreography. It was just an overall real happy song to look at. And I can really imagine this being a song being used, for example, in schools, in gyms, you know, just to motivate people to, you know, to do some activities or to dance to it or anything like that. I think that's super, super cool. And it should be also very important. Whether this was the intention or not, I cannot really say, but they're always trying to say, let's make people move, from what I understand. Damn, that's a low shot. If anyone who's interested, it's something I learned when I first did my first music video. These low shots just create a lot of drastic, what do you call it? It's a very dramatical shot by itself because the people look very big in the shot and it makes everything look a little bit more dramatic, but it's cool. It's a very cool shot, as a final shot, I would say. But to have it throughout the entire scenes non-stop, it's not really that amazing. For example, in a lot of R&B and a lot of rap songs, they love these kind of shots. I never enjoyed it. It just makes it a bit boring. Damn, they're cleaning quick. Look at her in the background. Do you see her? She's racing. Wow, that woman was going crazy. You look tired, man. You deserve to sleep. You should sleep a little bit. Oh, and it just continues. I like that, again, the group and the members have a say in the recording. I think this is super nice, super fair. And it just shows that everyone should have a say in a production, you know? Whether you are the producer in the background, you should still let other people think as well. Because your ideas doesn't mean it's the best of the best. You know, let the artists, the creativity people also say something. And I think that's very important to any shoot. Super cool. And they just made that up on the spot. Like, that is so cool. Like, now that you see it like this, it's super, super cool. Super nice. Super, super nice. At least for me it is. Again, I just want to point it out again for the people who know, I'm really focusing on lip sync. I just don't understand why there are too many videos, because again, here you can see they're listening to the music in the background. The voices are on spot when they do the lip syncing. But when it comes to syncing it in post, for some reason in a lot of MVs, it just misses. Why? Why is it such a hard thing that they can do it in these type of videos? For example, here we just saw it perfectly, you know? Look, it's on spot, you know, but there are too many videos, and I'm not talking about this one in specific, where they just don't know what they're doing when it comes to the editing, and I'm so irritated by it sometimes. Like, yeah, I can have my... Poor guy, though, having to carry all of this. Like, this is a really heavy setup. But what I wanted to say is, I can actually understand maybe why it is like that. When you work on recording videos, you know, there's a speed as well for sound, for example. There could be that they're recording on the wrong frequencies, basically. And when you try to sync them in post, it doesn't work because one will be quicker. And you can have, for example, in frames, you know, if it's one frame too quick, after a few seconds, it will move forward, you know. Maybe that could be the problem. I really don't know. But I cannot imagine that they have these type of issues with these big production companies, you know, and especially in K-pop videos where they throw millions into productions. Okay, maybe not millions, but a couple 100,000. Jaemin. Aha. That's Taemin with a J. But they're really good dancers, I must say. NCT U is... NCT Zens, the group. I like this. It's a very personal thing to the fans. Really, really cool. Really, really cool.
Work It, filming a music video day 2, complete.
Complete. Super cool. Like I say, it's really, really fun for me to see these type of videos. I think they're really, really good. You know, if we have to summarize this really quickly together, you know, in the chat, guys, what do you guys think of the making of? Do you think it's as good as the music video? I think it's as fun to watch this for 30 minutes as the music video. It just gives you a nice insight on how these groups are. And it shows a very big part of the reality behind these shoots, and I really like that. I love that we get away from the glamour and the perfectionized shots and everything being edited in post and just seeing what's happening behind the shots. I think this is just amazing, and I will say they did a fantastic job with the scouting of locations, the color combinations, the dance choreography. The song itself is a really good masterpiece. It's really fun to watch, and it put a lot of energy into me when it got released in December. Really, really, really fun video. But for the next video, as I said, and as you can see by the title, we're going to be looking at Taemin again. And this is one of the last videos that I wanted to have a look at. I think there could be a few more MVs, or at least making ofs that I skipped. But if there are, please put them in the comments or in the chat. Would love to see what you guys have to say. But for this video, we're going to be looking at Idea. I thought when this video came out, it was really just mind-blowing because it has such an interesting background in how it was filmed. You know, again, there were so many live locations, and again, we had these beautiful colors. And I think for today, we should be looking as well how that was made. And I know, guys, you said let's do a 30-minute video, but for today, we're just going to do a nice little hour, you know, maybe 45 minutes, because this video is very short. It's only 7 minutes long. If we compare it to any other videos, you know, 17 minutes, 13 minutes, 20 minutes, this is more or less the short one. So I would just say, let's go have a look at Taemin. with Idea. I'm really curious what it has to hold. And it's always nice to see the Maestro in action again. So it was purple. They edited it in post into green. Very interesting. For the people who don't know, I think the jacket turns into green in post, but I said the purple is fake and the green is real. It seems like it's the other way around.
뭐라고 얘기하지? 아, 네 여러분 여기는 저 태빈의 액트2 뮤직비디오 촬영 현장입니다. 뭔가 자연과 동화되는 뭔가 제 모습을 보실 수 있을 것 같아요. 제가 사실 감독님과도 처음에 이제 얘기했을 때 전 세트보다 뭔가 자연
Nice, natural setting. Great. Great.
하늘이 좀 또 도와줘서 날씨도 좋고
Yes.
바다도 보면서
We should have much more natural settings. And I think this is at a beach location because we can see these boats. At least can you guys see it? Yeah, where you put the boats on to transport them.
좀 춥지만 날씨는
And if you look at the trees, they look like trees that are near oceans.
아까 처음에 찍었던 계단신도
Wow, that's nice.
그 계단에 하늘이
They mirrorized the entire thing. That's impressive. But I also like how they actually green screened it because, do you guys see that? Here you have this green screen element. And I thought already how they built this together because I thought, really? This is really just one element, but it just seems they green screened this out. Nice. You know, it really made the video look super unique. What is this above the video?
담아낼 수 있을 것 같습니다. 기대가 많이 되네요.
Kind of cute. Where is it? You can see Taemin is a little bit too tall, but she has to fix his hair. Nice. Okay, we see equipment here. That is a massive crane. Again, what is it? It's an RE camera. Massive crane. Like, you can just see the size of it. Like, guys, can you actually see that? Let's have a look. Is that better? I think that's better, no? Should we make it? One sec. Let me fix this up a little bit so we guys can see a little bit more, actually. Sorry, I thought you could see everything. But just look at the size of this crane. Damn, beautiful. I think it's amazing how big some of these things are. It means you can even put more equipment on it. Amazing. The sun. Again, having fun on set, always very important.
아까 근데
It's
사실
because I'm shiny. Nice.
너무 힘들었어요. 조명이랑 햇빛이랑 저의 눈을 너무 공격해서 저 뜰 수 있다고 자신 있게 대답해놓고 모니터 보니까 이러고 있더라고.
Very important though that when you do a shoot and you're facing the sun. I remember I was being on a shoot. I never knew a guy like this existed, but there was one guy who was just responsible for monitoring the sky for the perfect, lighting conditions. And it was the most insane position of a job that I heard, but it exists. And like I said, all he does is checks the sky, is the lighting good, and it's crazy if you think about it. Like, he had his own equipment and everything to check the sky. Really crazy. But at the same time, I can understand as well why it's important. I mean, for this shot, if Taemin was complaining about the sun hitting his eyes, I would have said, okay, let's wait a little bit. Let's let the sun turn a little bit. However, you also have to consider if the sun turns a little bit, the shadows are also going to be very different from the set, that you shot previously. So, yeah, it's a tough one. So maybe they took out this shot. Booty shot. Woo! Very nice colors. Again, it's so complimenting to see like the shadow and the complexity in the mirror reflections here. But to see the colors, they really match the sky. I thought this was amazing because these are not very contrasting colors, these are the same colors nearly, but it's a very slight difference, and they were, I think, very lucky with the weather here. Very lucky. Very lucky. Because look how beautiful it looks.
이제 첫 번째 근무신이 끝났고요. 이제 넘어가서 숲에서도 촬영할 건데
Nice.
예쁘게 잘 나온 것 같아요.
Again, I really appreciated this video for them choosing natural selection of locations.
신비스러우면서
It was just so important to me because it really shows to me that you don't always need to hire a studio to go on set. Of course, if you want to have a controlled environment, yeah, then you need that. But I think if you can do it in nature, it's just so cool. Look at all this equipment though. Let me see what this actually is. Ooh, tough one. I think this for sure has to be a HDMI transmitter because I've seen multiple in my career, let's say, and they have more or less the same look. But then again, it can also be for sound. It could literally be for anything, but this is transmitting either sound or video. Super cool. I think a wireless system is the best. No wires is the future. I also just still think it's amazing how Taemin always tries to put himself into the set and say, how can we make this better? What do I think about it? What do you think about it? And we question these possibilities. I think this is very important. Beautiful camera movement here. I thought this was all handheld actually, but it seems like it's all done in crane. Very nice. See, even I can be wrong sometimes. The choreography is super cool. Can I pause for a second? And the reason why I want to say why I sometimes am actually wrong. You know, sometimes people buy equipment and they use it on the most simplest terms as possible. They don't try to experiment how to create crazy shots while using that equipment. And for example, with the cranes, I've been on several shoots, and all they do with cranes is they try to get these high shots. They try to get these shots that, you know, go up and down, but they never go completely crazy with, you know, turning the panning and changing the angle. Really, really crazy, actually, you know, how nice this actually looks. But at the same time, too many people just don't do it. And I think if you buy equipment, you might as well make the most out of it. No, it's important that you make the most out of the money. Kato. So I think that's cool. That's weird. Kato. Like, is that Japanese? If you know Korean, just tell me if they also do the same in Korea, where they put like a sound behind English words. I know that in Japanese they do. Because you don't have the letter T in Japanese, so the last thing you have is to. Look at the entire setup though. All that equipment. It shows the complexity, doesn't it? Can I say one more thing? Just to talk a little bit about the location itself. You can see that these people are wearing very thick winter jackets. Taemin is sitting here in his shirt. This is dangerous. If you do a lot of choreography and it's cold outside and you're sweating, you can turn out sick. Again, that light. I think that's something that Taemin's videos have the most, these light tubes. I really need to get one still. I've found them now, but I just didn't find them as complex as these. Because I want to have them produce different patterns inside. Ooh, that was actually very interesting what he just said. You know, I'm in the process for looking for a utopia for myself. Very, very interesting, because that's also what we think, you know, like without watching this, I thought that was what he was looking for. Like he's looking for the perfect something. I just didn't know what it was, but now we figured it out. By watching these MVs, you learn something, you know, utopia. He's looking for the perfect world. Actually, now I see this looks actually very thick. Look at these tubes. Give me a tube. I hope they can sponsor me one day with one of these nights. I would really love to be in a Taemin video, to be honest, or a Shiny video, or not in it, but behind the scenes. Oh, there we go. One sec. Did we just get some behind the scenes? One sec. Damn, I'm being distracted. Again, these beautiful handheld scenes, you know, turning and twisting. And you can see just by the lens, you can see how close he is to Taemin. Look how wide that is. It's impressive. But one thing I really appreciate as well by Taemin is that he still thinks, even though he's a soloist here, he always refers to him as Shiny. I really think that's fantastic. You know, whether it is a contractual thing or not, it really just shows the importance of Shiny to him. That light tube.
이제
Nice.
뭐 흰 옷으로 이제 갈아입었고 어제 좀 늦게 끝나서 또 오늘 아침 일찍 시작하는 좀 피곤하지만 열심히 해보겠습니다. 방금은
Always do your best, man. Always do your best. When you're on scene, guys, always do your best to keep on going. You're not there alone. Everyone is there trying to create a project. It's not just you being this film star. You're part of it as well. And that's what I like about this a lot. You know, he's going to keep on going because everyone else is keep on going.
이제 오늘
Very important.
어떻게 보면 되게 많아요. 엄청 많죠. 찍어야 될 거. 좀 빨리 걱정이네요. 오늘 안에 다 할 수 있을지. 맘마 이데야. 그래. 약간 이런 느낌이에요.
This was one of my favorite sets, actually. Very good acting, though, from Taemin. Like, you can see he's a bit of a mastermind. Can we just have a look here? He's focusing on this member. But it's like he's looking at him like, is this real? Is this fake? Like, the emotion coming from his facial expression is very strong. And I think this is something that he's very strong with. He should become an actor one day. Like, if he cannot sing, he should literally go into acting. Damn, that's a massive crane just. Killing me. That's a big monitor. But it's nice. It's always nice to have a big monitor just to monitor everything. Look at this big battery on the back. 15 amps. That's a massive battery. But like I say, it's needed to power something like that, so. I always notice that with Taemin's behind the scenes, they don't tend to show too much of his videos, which is very interesting. Like, yeah, we see some of the equipment, we see, you know, those things are there. By the way, just look how long these cables are. These cables are so, like, literally, they're bloody expensive just. It's just amazing that, you know, once you have them for a long time, but always make sure you have a backup. I had it enough times in the past that these cables just tend to break, you know, USB cables and HDMI cables. I don't know why. They just break in the most ridiculous places at the wrong times. Just always make sure you have a backup, by the way. Of course, these cables are a little bit protected. You know, they have you know, that they can go in and out all the time. That's what this protection is for. They shouldn't snap. That's the point. But it's just fantastic to see how much money goes into this equipment. It's not just the camera. It's not just the crane. It's everything that leads from the monitor to the camera, leading from the lights to the control panel. There's so much that is involved. I love that they also had this as a real element. The fire looks really good. Wait, what? I've never seen a crane do that before. One sec. Oh, so basically it's like on a half moon. Super cool. Super cool crane. That's a hyper cool crane. Crane. I mean, you can even see it. Vit lighting. Should we have a look if that even exists? Do you guys see it in the background? We will have a look in a second. You know what? We're going to do that now. I want to see what that actually is. Vit lighting. Let's have a look. I'm curious now. Las Vit. Is this it? I would say. Globe lights, cone lights. So it seems like they produce lights, but their website is like not available. That's a really bright website, by the way. So is it a production company or not? So this is something Korean. It's a production company. They just did nothing with it. How can a company with such a big truck not have a proper Facebook? Maybe because it's not their thing. Maybe here, full lights. Do they have any? No photos either, but they seem to be. Look, I don't know if it's a company that produces lights and studio lights, but it's cool anyway. Always nice to look at these companies just for references, just maybe in case you need it. I think that was it. Ooh, one sec. Nice. I do wish, though, I know this is the end of, you know, the making of Idea. I do wish there was some a little bit more talking with Taemin, like a little bit more insight to, hey, so how was it? What did you think? Do you think there could have been anything better? It would have been very, very, very cool as well, you know. I don't know. I just think that some groups do it better. And in all honesty, you know, for NCT U, I think they showed so much more of the group and they were a little bit more flexible in talking about it. But I noticed with Taemin, they're holding back a lot of information. For example, you know, the shutter speeds, you know, what you see on the monitors. I don't know if they do this on purpose. They might really be doing this on purpose. But at the same time, it's really cool that they're showing at least something about the background. I always feel a little bit sad, you know, when it comes to the end of these videos. But at the same time, I think it's just so important that when you look at these videos that you need to see it from a point, where are we? You know, what are they doing? And you have more questions because you'll be asking, like, for me at least, you know, like, so how is it to be in a set? How is it to film in November? Is there something you would have liked to improve for the next videos? And these things are just super cool. I mean, this is not the worst type of video that doesn't answer all my questions. The worst ones are actually Psy. His videos are, I think, really about the production, but they don't really answer a lot of questions. For example, with NCT U, they do answer some of the questions. You know, like, how is it to be there? How is it, you know, what are we going to expect? What's the purpose of the video? Of course, we also got that with Taemin now. But like I say, sometimes it would just be nice to have a little bit more of an insight to these videos. I think you guys would like it as well, because there's a lot of thought put into these videos. You know, they take months to build up. They take weeks, you know, to prepare. I wish we got a little more insight in that preparation stage. That would be really nice, because you can see that when, you know, NCT, Taemin, or any other groups talk about their video, they always give little, you know, hints of what was discussed in these production videos, in the production phase, where everything was just being ideaed at the beginning or put into concept. And the reason why, most likely, I think this is also because I've been there. I know how they talk, and I know that these things are not just things they make up because they seem like a good idea. It's because these things have been discussed. You know, they're more or less brainwashed by everyone, because you need to follow the scheme. You know, you need to follow the idea that, and pun not intended there, will follow the idea. No, but you need to make sure that when everyone is filming something, that they all are brainwashed in understanding what has to happen. It's very important, because if you don't do it, you know, it just takes the wrong person to get the wrong idea, and then you get the wrong shot or the wrong lighting, whatever. It's just very important. But guys, what did you actually think of these reviews? I must say it's very interesting now to see a difference between Taemin and NCT U. I think they're very fun videos to look at. I think they're very entertaining. For this one, I'll be honest, I did enjoy the one with NCT a little bit more, because it gave a little bit more insight in the production, the background, and everyone had a little bit more time to talk. I just wish with Taemin, like I just said, a little bit more talking would be nice. Maybe a half a minute. I think you guys would agree. Half minute more would be nice. You know, talk about Taemin just in this natural, you know, forced matter. Like, so Taemin, what did you actually think of it? You know, like interviewing him at the end. That would be super cool. I think that would have been very nice as well. But for now, guys, I must say that was a really fun thing to look at. For me, again, these videos are really just about learning, and about once you go on set, about the complexity. You know, sometimes you have to see, you know, how hard it is to be there. It's not about just becoming the superstar and being in front of the camera. It's about the entire picture. If you don't understand the full picture of even just holding a light bar, the importance of it, then, you know, these things become very, let's say like this, you don't think outside of the box, you know, because you always have to think about, oh yeah, what does he have to do again? What does he have to do again? Everyone needs to have these different, you know, you need to put puzzle pieces together basically, and understand everyone has an important role. And by exploring all these different roles, like if you have a chance to be on set and multiple sets, try to change your role around a little bit. Maybe that will help you as well with understanding with how the complexity degree changes over time. It's a cool thing to do. I mean, if it was me, I would do it. I stuck with behind the camera. I think behind the camera is really, really fun. Many people have just told me, like, man, you really have this eye for the right angle, you know, making sure that you have the correct lenses always on your camera. And it's not something that I forced on myself. It just naturally came with me. And that doesn't mean something that people appreciate it with when I go on shoots with them. That I always have these small details that are very fine but important. You know, these small little hints of, it's not just filming it, there's a reason to why I film a certain situation like that. I think that's really fun. You need to stay creative with video shoots, do things a little bit different. Very good example. I know I wanted to close off actually. We're nearly on the 50-minute mark. But for example, my gimbal was empty. Actually, I have it here. Well, I have my gimbal here, for example. My gimbal was empty on set once, and I didn't know what to do. We were done anyway, but all of a sudden, the artist wants to have another video, at least another set. And I told him, like, look, man, I don't have a gimbal ready now because the battery's empty. You know, we used like 10 hours today, and oh, my battery, we didn't plan this much. So I overplanned, of course. I was able to film for 10 hours, but the shooting went on for 11 hours. But what I did is, let me remove the gimbal quickly. You know, a little bit of show and tell doesn't really hurt. Come on, get loose. Oh, I love good gimbals, by the way, and I love good equipment. When you know it's tight. Okay, is it going to come off? Great. So what I did basically is, okay, I don't have a camera on here right now. Oh, this is difficult to show. But what I did basically is I basically had this on a tripod, and I was just hand moving the gimbal because I realized, you know what? Everything is stuck here. It doesn't bounce around. So it's a very nice, smooth motion, but I handheld the entire gimbal. It was just staying creative and doing my thing, and it was a really good alternative. And those shots were used as well, you know, because they are very smooth. I mean, you have to think about it. There's just a motor in there holding these things together, and there is not a lot of shake. It's a beautiful system. But I was trying to be creative, and you know, you learn these things on the set by just meeting other people, talking to them. So that's the only thing I can say. Now I have to build this thing together again. Let me quickly put it together, then I'll be back with you guys. But like I say, if you have ever the chance and you're really interested in going into film, go do it, you know, go try it. You know, it's a really fun experience. It's really fun to see how many people are on set, how crazy these things can be. Really, really fun. And guys, thank you very much for watching the premiere. It came a little bit out of the blue. I didn't really expect when to upload it, in all honesty. But at the same time, I just tried to do my best. And I think it's going to be uploaded today at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock. But thank you very much for watching. Like I say, if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more, just leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to support the channel, because this video for sure is going to be demonetized as well by SM Entertainment, please do. I would really appreciate it. You know, the money also goes to charity. We're slowly collecting money right now. I'm thinking at the moment, because I have only a few Patreons, that I'm only going to do it on a half-year basis, you know, to at least collect everything and then put it away. Not that we only send euros over, I want to send a good amount. And the music charities is also, for example, the charities that I want to support are music charities. And I will look for charities, you know, that sends instruments around the world, you know, used instruments, just to help them, because I think it's a very important part that we support music. You know, we guys support music. I mean, yesterday I went, after Germany played soccer, there was someone who put a speaker outside, but everyone kept their distance and they started dancing all together. You know, it was a really nice thing. And then I thought to myself, I told the same thing to you guys. Music pulls people together, and it's just fantastic. So why not just give everyone a chance? And that's something that I want to push as well. So if you want to support the Patreon, once I have the charity selected, I will put them, of course, on Patreon. I'll put them on YouTube so you guys know as well. And maybe you want to donate yourself. That's fair as well. But thank you very much for watching, guys. And I hope you did enjoy. And I am really curious about looking into more crazy K-pop videos. I really thought this PMS song was hella crazy. And thank you very much, guys. And if you did enjoy the video, like I say, keep a like. Oh, let me restart it. For the guys who did watch the video, it's always so tough when you do it on YouTube. You know, when you cut the video, it's a little bit difficult, but okay, there we go again. But if you did enjoy the video, please make sure you hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and of course, I love to see you on the next video. And thank you very much for watching, guys. And like I say, if you have any recommendations, put them in the comments below. But for now, enjoy your Sunday, and I'll see you in the chat, or a little bit later. Thank you for being in the chat. Bye bye.